Okay. So we did a breath practice on Friday. So Deb was here for that one, but I'd love to share it with everybody else, especially now as we might notice the weather starting to change a little bit. So it's a really warming practice, and we actually visualize that there is like a fire burning in our belly or a bonfire, whatever you'd like to think, sitting at the front of the chair. So the breathing is just simply what I've been on about this whole adverse abdominal breathing. So we're breathing mainly from the belly. We're not going to worry too much about breathing up into the chest. So as we breathe in, we know we expand our belly. It's like a balloon. It comes out into the front and it also comes out to the side. And we can use our hands and relax everything. Then as we breathe in, imagining this bonfire in our belly, placing your fist on your hand and drawing up to about the start of your chest. We release, we breathe in, and then breathe out, draw up. So when I say draw up, I'd like you to imagine like you're putting on your tight pair of jeans. So we're actually squeezing from the pelvic floor, the lower abdominal, up to the sternum. So relaxing as you breathe in and draw it. It's like a squeeze, and then breathe in, relax everything, and breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. So have a little play around with that in your own rhythm now, just for a moment. And I've just even demonstrating that to you, I'm getting quite warm. So you'll notice how warm it can make you feel. I did this in the surf yesterday when I was just so inundated with that cold wind and there were no sets coming, there were no waves. I started doing this out in the water and I was like, oh, this is really warming. So, and if you want to make the so it's that squeezing up, 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 and then release. So really start low. So imagining that you're starting from the base of your spine and working your way up. Now you might like to try closing your eyes once you get the hang of it. And let's do 2 more in your own time. Rest the palms down and feel into the effects of that breathing. And I'd like to, while you're just noticing your sensations of your feet, the warmth in your belly, perhaps any sensations in your arms, my friend's beautiful healing I affirm cards. I'm just going to pull one of those for us this morning. And like I say, this might be your intention for today. It might just resonate with you. I am very, very loved. How beautiful. So maybe even take that with you for our practice this morning. Okay. So let's stand. So just moving the chair away. And let's check in with the neck. So standing, checking in with the neck. So a little bend in the knees, hand on the sacrum, clip lock in place. So just for a moment, let's just play around with our neck very gently, always gently with the neck. Turn your head to the right, notice how that feels. Bringing your head back to the center. And turning your head to the left. And gently coming back to center. Lowering your head down, so the chin coming down. Notice how that feels in the back of the neck. And coming up. And then gently gazing up to the ceiling. And coming back down. Now let's apply a few little magic techniques. So let's go back to looking to the right, but I'll invite you to, if it's available to you with your shoulders, to bring your hands behind, interlace, and the hands will come over to the left side. Now it's just under my sternum, kind of above my hip bone is where I'm going to place those hands. So my hands are to my left, And I will slowly breathe in and gaze to the right. We'll just stay here for 3 breaths. And coming back to center. Release a little wiggle, hands back together. Now bringing my hands to the right, same thing, my sternum, my hip bone, just that kind of insert there. It's a lovely little place just to rest the hands. Breathing in and turning to the left. Just noticing how that feels. And coming back to center and releasing. Now, how did that feel just by having that little hand placement in the movement of the neck? It's so lovely. When I turn my head like that, I crunch. I can feel like a restriction. When my hands are to the left and I'm turning to the right, I feel all this space. I don't know if you can feel the same. So like I say, try it out. Test it out. Don't take my word for it. And we're going to do the up and down now as well. We've done this one before. You probably notice how it feels when you're down, compression, how it feels when you're up. So this time, let's go up first. So imagining there's a wall, you're about to kiss the wall out in front of you. So lengthening the chin forward. So this all comes back to the neck. The neck is like an egg, swiveling forward and backwards on the spoon. So this is the movement we're trying to make happen here. So forward and then gazing up. It feels lovely. There's no tightness. Obviously it's a lovely stretch. So just 3 breaths here. And then imagining now. So you've either got a nice scarf on and we want to bring our chin in so we can look over a scarf, or the funny way is, there's a little bit of poop and we need to move our head back and then lower our chin down. And just notice how that feels compared to how we first lowered our chin down. So those few little movements, the hands to the side when you're looking left and right, and remembering these when we look up and down. Okay, and then coming up. Let's take our hands now and breathe in, looking up. So kiss the chin, looking up, and hands coming down. Breathing in, kiss, looking up, and hands coming down. Breathing in, looking up. And on this one, let's fold forward. So remembering, clip lock in place. Pubic bone clips into the sternum, or your belly button wants to stay facing front without losing its contents. Let's fold forward and notice how that feels. Little bend into the legs. Allow the neck to feel heavy. Might like to rock the head from side to side. Keep breathing. And enjoy the length. Noticing what's going on in the hips. Allow the neck to move from side to side. And let's come to a half lift. So place the hands on top of your shoulders. Imagine that backpack on your back. So the shoulders, it's drawing your shoulders down. And let's slide the hands to below the knees. Now, the chair is there. Please use the chair if you need to, okay? So we're just standing here now. Imagining again, you're looking over your scarf, or there's poop on the mat, lowering the chin down. And feel that length. So the crown of the head is lengthening. Keep breathing. And we will lower, bend the knees. Clip lock in place. Slowly raising up. And hands down. So a side stretch now. So breathing in, and let's take a hold of our hands. So I've got my right on top of my left. We'll draw, so the right hand's on top. Let's reach over, same thing, clip lock in place, reaching to the right, and feel the stretch down the left side of the body. And then we're going to explore moving forward here. So keep the stretch in place, bend the knees, and for as much as you can, fold yourself forward on the diagonal. Not losing the contents of your stomach. Slowly start to move forward. Then when you come across to the left side, incorporate the exact same side stretch. So that right elbow will move forward, clip lock in place, coming up with our side stretch to the right, and then coming back up. We'll repeat that 2 more times. So side stretch, coming down on the diagonal, slowly coming forward, side stretch to the left, clip lock in place, coming up. Side stretch to the right, coming down on the diagonal, folding yourself forward as if we're doing a gentle circle. Right elbow comes forward, coming up with a side stretch to the right, and then releasing. And we'll change sides. Nice cleansing breath in. Breathing in, placing the left hand now on top of the right, starting off initiating the side stretch to the left side. Bending the knees, coming down on the diagonal, so the sternum is lifting. Coming down, and then straighten out. Bring the elbows through, and then bring the left elbow forward, so activating the side stretch now to the left side body as we come up. And again, leaning to the left, bending as you come diagonally down, folding yourself around forward. Left elbow now comes forward to activate this stride stretch to the left body, safely coming up. And one more time, side stretch to the left. Coming down diagonally, safely, clip lock in place, folding forward. Left elbow, move it forward, activate the left armpit, feel the stretch in the left side body, and coming up. And releasing the hands and coming down. Have a little stretch. And then downward facing dog. Let's breathe in, reach up. Fold ourselves forward. Clip lock in place as we come forward. On the chair if you need. On the floor if you like. So folding forward and then stepping back. Right leg back, left leg back. So backpack down, lowering the shoulders down the back, and rocking on the heels. So lower one heel and then the other. Now for 5 breaths here, I would like you to try the breath of fire. Breathing in, relaxing the pelvic floor, the pelvis and the hips. Breathing in, imagining that zip coming up on the exhalation. Breathing in, relaxing. Let's try that in our downward facing dog. So for 5 breaths here. You might like to make the sound. And coming to the floor. Knees, belly, chest. If that's all you can manage this morning, fantastic. If you need to support yourself out in front, great. Lowering down, not losing the contents of our stomach. And let's extend out as far as we can. So feeling into the hips, resting on the floor, the hip bones, the tops of your feet, your palms, reaching, reaching, reaching. And slowly slide our hands in just for the slightest little back bend. So my elbows are still quite far out in front. And to assist me into this, I'm going to press down on my elbows, imagining I'm drawing my hands back as I gently lift my chest up. Notice how it feels. If it's too much, come down a little bit further. Let's do 3 breaths here. Let's do our breath of our bonfire breathing. So expanding the pelvic floor, pelvis area. Lower abdominals and squeezing on the exhalation. And sliding the hands underneath the shoulders, applying a little pressure, coming into our tabletop for a few rounds of cat-cow before we'll head back down to the floor again. So playing around with perhaps first the hips moving from side to side. We've got our abdominal switched on, the clip lock's in place, nothing's falling out on the floor. Then when you feel ready, begin to lift the chest, lift the bottom, and then slowly rounding and looking down. You might like to add a little bit of movement here, perhaps the hips coming back a little bit towards the heels. You might like to lower, move forward, bend the elbows, play around with the hips, looking up, maybe even bending back a little bit here. So just all depends on how your back's feeling. Rounding the spine when you feel ready, maybe coming back a little. Just playing around with all different kinds of movements. Maybe try bending the elbows. Just be mindful that we're not losing the contents. We're clipped lock in place here. Mindful of how we're moving our neck. Kiss the wall, looking up, or looking down over our scarf and drawing the head in. And do 2 more rounds. So a cat and a cow 2 more times, and then meet me back on the floor. Keep breathing. And once you've done your 2, neutral spine, lowering yourself back down. We're again here, let's explore full extension of the arms, a nice long stretch, the sensation of the forehead resting on the mat, your hips, the tops of your feet, and slowly sliding the elbows in. And just noticing how the back feels now. Just noticing. Perhaps draw the hands towards you. They're not moving, but we're imagining that we've got glue on our hands and we're trying to pull our hands back towards our body. That lifts the chest. Be mindful not to compress your lower back. If that doesn't feel good, just lower yourself back down a little. And then reaching back out, lowering down. Now for this next one, I'm going to demonstrate standing first for anyone with any little issues in the lower back, and then I'll come back to the floor. So we will start by raising one leg, and then the other leg, and then the arms. So if it's not quite right for you today, we can try clip lock in place, extending the leg back behind us. And when it comes to the arms will come back behind us, or one arm, okay? So this is what we'll be doing on our belly. So we'll change legs, so the right leg will come back behind, hips nice and squared, and if it feels right, the arms can come back. Okay, so for those on the belly, resting on the forehead, preparation, bringing the arms alongside the body. So feeling supported here, noticing your breathing. And when you're ready, lengthen the right leg along the floor and gently raise the right leg. So I've got a soft flex in my foot. My forehead is resting on the floor. I'm lengthening that right leg as I raise. So building some strength in our glute, in our lower back. So around 5 breaths, if that's okay. And lowering down. And we'll change sides. So the option there to stand and do this is there, like I just demonstrated. So really feel into your back this morning. And when you're ready, left side, breathing in. Lengthen the left leg along the floor, breathing out, raise up. So soft flex. So keep the forehead on the floor for the first one. We're going to move our neck in a moment. Keep breathing. Aiming for length rather than height. Only about an inch or two up off the floor. So 5 breaths. And lowering down. Now this time let's change the position of our head. Just be mindful of your neck when you come onto our chin. Breathing in, lengthening the right leg, and breathing out, raising. Imagining that wall is behind you and you're pushing with your foot. 5 breaths here. And lowering down. Cleansing breath. Breathing in through the right, breathing in and lengthening the left leg, sorry. And as you exhale, raising the left leg up, staying on the chin. Of course, doing it standing. Five breaths here. Come down at any time if you need to. Resting in child's pose if you need to come down. There's no right or wrong. And then this time, and only if it feels right for you. Obviously standing, you won't be able to do both legs at the same time. But we're going to try to breathe in, lengthen both legs, breathe out, lift up. Now the option there to raise up very slowly is there. Be mindful of your neck. Be mindful of how this feels on the lower back. If it doesn't feel okay, you don't have to do it. So our 5 breaths here. And lowering ourselves down. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, and as our counter stretch, coming into child's pose. So bringing the weight of the bottom back. If you've got some cushions and you would like to support your tummy with your cushions, you can do so. If you'd like to make 2 fists with your hands, you can do so. And I'd love you to go back to the breath of fire here. So breathing in, expanding, relaxing the pelvic floor, the lower abdominal area. Breathing out, drawing up. Breathing in, everything relaxes and soft. Breathing out, like the zipper of the tight jeans. So that's 3. We'll do 2 more of those. Coming up gently, bringing the legs out to the side, and then coming down onto your spine. So on your spine, and intuitively, let's just not think for a minute. What's your body telling you to do here? Maybe it's to bring the knees in and have a little rub, a little rock rather, massaging the lower back. Perhaps it's to extend the legs up to the ceiling. Maybe walking the feet as if you're walking on the ceiling. Supporting your lower back if you need to with your hands. And we'll lower our feet back down for bridge pose. So let's bring the arms alongside the body. Feet are hip width apart, parallel to each other, being the key to keeping it safely in alignment. So the first thing I'd like you to do is try the breathing while we're here. Breathing in, relax everything. Breathing out, relax everything, your pelvic floor, lower abdominals, and drawing up on your exhalation. Okay, so the key is, let's imagine that we've got glue on our heels. We're drawing the heels into our bottom, but they're not moving. That's activating our glutes. Okay, pressure on the feet lowering the feet down into the floor, the palms into the floor, clip locks in place. Our belly button wants to remain directly up towards the ceiling as we come up. Breathing here. Our breath of a bonfire breathing, or our breath of fire. Aim for 5. Come down at any stage if you need to. Keep those heels drawing in. Knees parallel. So we're not very far up off the floor, about 2 inches up off the floor, and lowering down. Nice cleansing breath in, breathing in and breathing out. Breath back to regular. Draw the heels in. You'll notice the quadriceps activate, the glutes will activate. Pressure down and very slowly clip lock in place, pressing into the feet as we raise up again. Now you might like to explore your arms. You might like to just bring the hands touching underneath. You might even like to roll the left shoulder, roll the right shoulder, and interlace the fingers. But don't lose the compromisation of the hips coming up, but that clip lock in place, protecting our lower back. Heels sliding in towards you. Keep breathing. Be really mindful of your neck. No straining to the neck. Keeping nice and still. And 2 more breaths here. Come down if you need to. And lowering down. And releasing the shoulders. Reaching the arms back overhead. And breathing the arms down. Breathing in, reaching the arms up. And releasing them down. Keep that clip lock in place, raising our legs up. And the invitation now is to give your knees a little hug, a little rocking from side to side. And back to center, where we will keep the right knee and we will extend the left leg along the floor. Have a soft push in that. Imagine you're pushing that left foot against the wall, drawing the right knee in, and see how it feels. Now, this mightn't feel great for everybody, especially if you've got lower back stuff going on today. Drawing the right foot, you might like to rest it on the left leg, over to the left. Very gently. Hand position, supporting yourself, support that right knee as it comes over to the left side. If that is too strong for you, you might like to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side, or you might even just like to rock from side to side. So see how you go. This right knee coming over to the left. Now my right shoulder wants to lift up. Trying to keep that right shoulder there as best that you can. Support this left knee if you need to. Keep looking at the left, or you might like to gaze over to the right, but please be mindful of your neck. Notice how that feels. 5 breaths here. Back off if you need to. Please don't strain in any way. Breath of fire. Relaxing on the inhalation, drawing up on the exhalation. Back to center, where we will change sides. So bring the left leg in and we'll extend the right leg. Again, see how this feels. Draw the left knee in towards the chest and then slowly bringing that left knee over to the right side. Support it if you can. This left shoulder will want to lift. We're trying to keep that on the floor if we can. Gazing